again on Skyscraper. It's great to see.
Yeah, so we are getting into Skyscraper right now. Let's take a look at some of those operator choices here. And it's going to be Pain Gaming kicking it off on attack and INTZ starting on defense. Now we are going to see that Tea Room and Karaoke be the first bomb site. Again, this is going to be that preferred bomb site that a lot of teams have very well stratted out here for the defensive side. Yeah,
we've seen a little bit of innovation on this particular bomb site from Playing Ducks, especially. One of those.
They've actually changed their bomb site there. They're going to go.
Oh, look at that!
They've.
That's I think barbecue. I'm just gonna guess that's a kitchen barbecue. However, I do not read Portuguese, so I cannot tell. We'll find out once they load in. However the case be, yeah, when it comes to this particular map, we've seen like a couple teams like Playing Ducks, for example, really innovate the strategy and the hold of this map. It is in fact going to be kitchen barbecue. So that is going to be our first hold coming out from INTZ. And that's interesting also, a Frost from INTZ, which is a little bit of a surprise, a little bit of a deviation, something we're not especially used to. And I like that. I like that they're trying to mix it up. We did see Frost earlier today, but, you know, still different.
I think this might be the first time I've actually seen a Frost in Skyscraper in the Pro League. And I mean, on Oregon, it wasn't a huge surprise because we've seen Frost before during the Frost meta. We'll say when Oregon would get played a lot, so it wasn't a huge surprise. But seeing Frost here is a little bit okay. You're gonna have window vaults in the kitchen, obviously. I think what it's more of is being as Frost is not necessarily a common pick. Are they gonna be aware of the frost traps, or are they just going to forego them and forget about it, quote unquote forget about trying to look down and pre-fire those traps?
We had the conversation about why Frost isn't played very much in the Pro League, and it really just comes down to the fact that, hey, people can look down, but people don't always look down. Noted going to get aggressive onto that reception desk. FK going to see the legs of Noted but not take the shot. Noted, as a result, will kill Silence from that window. Good start here for Pain Gaming on this attack.
So Noted still here out on the north window. He almost saw FK as soon as he opened it up, but unfortunately FK was able to skedaddle him out of there. Now FK's moving in through the terrace into the exhibition hallway. Spawn's going to be at the rooftop by Dragon, and unfortunately, looks like he will not hear nor see FK on the other side of the wall. So FK will navigate downstairs. We'll have to see what ensues, as there is still half the round left to go.
Like this defense setup from INTZ, however, they are one man down already, and quite an important one. That smoke, not going to be able to delay or disrupt the defuse plant moving forward. They still have main control of the northwest stairs, the top floor above the bomb site, and the bomb sites themselves. So, nothing really given up in specific here for...
Ooh, GCR gonna peek on up, and it was Blackbeard that was looking on the close corner as the far side of the stairs is where GCR was able to get that kill.
This is a good comeback there for INTZ. Blackbeard being one of those operators that you really want to have out of the picture as soon as possible as a defender, and he is that.
So we are going to have Noted try to challenge onto the main bar. Castle's going to be in his way, peeking on that from the mini one from the side, and he will finish that shot. Lend will pick off Noted. Now again with 45 seconds, it's going to be a 3-on-4. Wag's going to move in forward through the drop hatch. He's going to down Castle, but it looks like a double kill. Lend and Ninja going to take 2 out. Last man alive is going to be Revolt, and he will looking like he won't tag anyone down. GCR is able to pick up that kill, and round 1 will go into the hands of INTZ.
So, Pain Gaming catching the smoke off guard a little bit early on, but then once they started their collapse into the bomb site from the top floor, which they had established control over, there really wasn't anything, there were no frags coming out. They tried to force themselves in through rotation holes, and INTZ Gaming had 2 people in a position to establish a crossfire on said push. Apart from that, there really wasn't much else to say about this particular round. I mean, the other pressure that Pain Gaming was applying to INTZ there was just kind of superfluous. I can never say it right, but superfluous. Thank you. And it was just kind of coming from from avenues that don't really mean anything on the actual push into the kitchen.
one of the things that I was, when we were talking about Frost last round, one of the things that I was debating and trying to identify is the Frost traps under the windows. I was thinking, okay, well, if they know what Frost is going to be on the defensive side, they'll just rappel upside down and shoot the Frost traps. But the balconies are preventing the angle. And so they cannot get the Frost traps by rappelling. They can only get the Frost traps either by tossing a nade in, going vertically to the floor above, or by vaulting in and looking down. Most of the scenarios, most of the times that I see that being played out in my head, they're going to vault in.
Yeah, you can really easily vault in and just shoot the bear trap as you're coming down. I mean, bear traps are pretty easily countered on an individual scale. They're not really something you have to think too much about. It's now going to be going on to the attack, and they will be going on to attack of a karaoke defense, not a kitchen barbecue defense. I like that Ints mixed things up, and I think they may have actually thrown off the Pain attack because I don't believe they had a thermite, and because of that, they could not open up as much as they wanted. Now Ints situating themselves on this south balcony, going to start to try and pressure on into Geisha.
Looks like a Claymore is going to get put right there at the window sill.
Ooh, nice
very early kill there by GCR onto Noted, taking out again that unpredictable, that randomized player who's just going to be basically trying to stir some chaos for his team.
You see here, Ints just trying to open up that Geisha wall, pressure onto the north balcony at the same time. That's going to be a nice little pinch between the two sets of attackers here.
Now there's going to be smoke on the north stairs. Looks like a nade's going to go his way, and unfortunately it was not cooked enough, so that's going to allow him time to rotate on out. But we do talk about that yellow cubby. Spawns is going to be there, but it looks like a nice shot from Lend, going through the wall and taking out Eunice.
That was FK we saw shooting there. WAG gonna lay down some smoke canisters out onto the north balcony to try and delay this attack as much as possible, which he's gonna have to. Unfortunately, because he's using these smoke canisters early on here, that's gonna put his defense in a really bad spot moving forward. As Silence takes out WAG, it's now a 2-on-5.
This round looking like it will go back to Ints. Pain still struggling to secure one single round. Revolt looking like he will go down by Lend. Last man alive is going to be Spawns. He's inside of the T-room looking on forward. Tries to take out one, but misses his shot. He'll hit the one that's been downed. FK, as he got downed out the window. Now Lend will finish off the round. Ints secures round number 2. 2-0.
Good attack there from Ints. Clearly displaying their proficiency on this map. Pain Gaming struggling here to get their bearings on Skyscraper. They are going to be bringing a Glass to the field here as Ints goes on to their karaoke defense. Again, no thermite coming out for Pain Gaming, but that's not really necessary when it comes to a karaoke attack per se. You still have those Sabanas. That's all you really need to open up that Geisha wall. And that's the only real crucial wall that need be opened in terms of karaoke.
We are going to see Ints opt to go upstairs into that teen karaoke room, which I think they were, like you had mentioned before, they kind of played the mind game against Pain Gaming, and they were originally going to go here round 1, went downstairs at the last second. So I think that this is going to be their secondary bomb site, their second favorite bomb site, and looking like
it could have just been Ints trying to mix things up, pushing themselves down into the kitchen and barbecue because they're just wouldn't want the operator selection to be right for Pain Gaming. On the note of operator selection, we do have a Glaz and a Capitao for Pain, which is a little bit different than what we're used to seeing.
We have seen both teams, though, go with the strategy of fortifying Geisha and trying to hold it, using that as a pivot point. However, we have seen some other strategies work where we talked about it before. They make it a kill box to try and collapse and bait their opponents into. There's only one roam room. We're looking at him right now. FK is going to be inside of the kitchen. There's no drones towards his way at the moment, so he's going to be nice and safe. What I think this might be is an extra precaution should Geisha be overrun. We will see Valkyrie potentially toss up a C4 from underneath.
That roam on the east side is going to be spotted out by Spawns, and Spawns is going to try to cut that off as much as possible. the main rotation for Jaeger is going to be through Terrace, and it will be cut off via Dragon. Meanwhile, INTZ is bandit tricking the Geisha wall, trying to hold it as long as possible. Wag will get his Hibana charges off, however.
And that's going to force Ninja to drop off a site. However, they still do have lead inside. And
this is why it's so difficult and dangerous to try and hold on to Geisha, because now they've lost control over Geisha, and all that stands in the way of Pain Gaming pushing through, utilizing that mirror window to their advantage on this attack is Lend. And he's in a dangerous spot.
He is. He's actually still trying to navigate away from the site, away from Geisha. He keeps on getting droned out and feeling a little claustrophobic. He's going to move on forward more, even further away from Geisha into Drum. Now, we did just see Noted here. Actually, that was going to be his own teammate, Wag and Noted, both holding down some crossfire. Wag trying to get into the site, but I don't think his Hibana charges are going to be in a favorable position. GCR still holding onto the flank here inside of the exhibition lounge. And we are going to see Pain try to progress onto site. Spawns picking up the first kill, taking out Lend. Now Spawns has to be keenly aware of the push from behind. He's picked up another kill into Ninja. He's waiting for GCR. GCR going for the peek, and it looks as though a little engagement will happen. Noted picks off Silent, and GCR and shots here. Spawns will finally go down by GCR, and now it's a 2-on-4, 2-on-3 with a wonderful C4 toss from underneath. FK's got to feel good about that one. Now Wag looking like he might try to get in sight, going for the plant into B. Noted has some smoke grenade covering him, and therefore he will secure that kill into GCR. Last man's going to be FK. He's got to come up these north stairs looking, and unfortunately it's not looking like it's going to be in his favor. You've got Revolt inside of the yellow cubby. He gets spotted out by a Valcam. Going to go for some shots. He gets injured in the process. FK's tagged one. He's got 2 more to go. Wag now looking like he's going to move in, and however, the shots from Glass, the shots from Noted will land onto the face of FK. Round number 3 goes into the hands of Pain Gaming.
So that round really can be easily attributed to the fact that INTZ invested so heavily into that Geisha hold, because they put both of their mirror windows in Geisha and looking towards outside towards that balcony window, and then the second mirror window facing into the hallway. That gave INTZ such an advantage on the push into the site itself that they just kind of had to challenge onto the defenders who were at the disadvantage and win those fights. You saw the last 2 players alive for INTZ were their roamers, who were not put at said disadvantage, and they almost made the comeback happen, but some well-positioned Glass play is going to allow Pain Gaming to win their first round of this map.
Now we are going to see I believe this is going to be our exposition. You talked about the trophy and exhibition room. I think that's what we're going to be seeing here from Pain Gaming. Previously, they chose the top 4 of tea and karaoke, and they lost it. Now they're going to be trying out the exhibition lounge, and they will be going with a Frost this time, as opposed to INTZ.
Atacantes precisam localizar e desativar as bombas.
Frost, obviously, for these 2 teams, one of the preferred operators here. So, this is not one of the more commonly defended bomb sites on this map. Very commonly we see karaoke and barbecue kitchen defended. That's what is almost always picked. But this bomb site, that's not to say this bomb site isn't viable. It is viable. It sees its play. It's just the strategy to holding it is a little bit more complex, let's say. Actually making this work is difficult. And it's interesting we don't actually see a castle being brought here on this particular hold, as I think the castle play is one of the more common operators on this site. And having that Frost instead, I can't help but wonder if that's going to be enough with those Frost traps to help Pain win this round.
I'm trying to think of, so the castle play, the one castle play that I've seen the best of, or the most utilized, has been reinforcing, throwing the castle barricade on the doorway to the right of where we just saw Frost. At the top of those stairs, basically, by the reception area. You toss it down there, you reinforce the right side of the wall with that door, you open up the left with an impact grenade, and that's going to be your rotation back and forth, so that you cannot have someone hop onto this window and basically hold down this entire site, or the hallway, basically. But But it looks like we are going to see INTZ try to take on the site from the actual opposite end of the map, moving in towards the tea room and karaoke to begin their top floor onslaught. Ninja, however, will pick up the first kill onto Noted. Noted's been dying quite early most of the rounds here. Wag, however, will get a trade. GCR going to go for another shot. Looks like a little engagement will happen. Wag, unfortunately, will not come out on top, and he'll be taken out of commission there on the north stairwell. Silent also securing a kill on a unit. C4 from underneath. Wonderful job there by Spawns, using that heartbeat sensor.
You can see a lot of this engagement actually has come down on the west side of the building as opposed to where the bomb site actually is on the east. There's only 2 defenders left, 1 an anchor, 1 a roamer. And all that INTZ needs to do to secure this round is just consolidate and push together as a team from drum.
Now GCR is 1 bullet away from being down, potentially killed off, and it looks as though he might, I don't know if he's going to try to get injured here by FK. That's going to be a risky move if he does, knowing that there's a pulse still roaming around underneath. With 60 seconds left to go, we are going to see basically this push come in from Terrace, from Drum Room. As the balcony play tends to not always be the best option. One nade tossed on out. Now what we're going to see here is FK trying to push in momentarily. Revolt still trying to look for the shots. Looks like GCR is going to get injured here by Spawns peeking on out from that VIP reception area. And now we have FK getting the trade down there onto Frost. GCR will get picked back up, and unfortunately those Spawns going to have to fight in a 1-on-3 and cannot do it. He will get the trade though, and Spawns and FK will both be taken out.
Because it was a trade, we're not going to get to see the final kill there. A nice attack from INTZ, but more importantly, just kind of an overall, all over the place defense from Pain Gaming. They had a very heavy roam game, and that roam game was almost entirely unsuccessful. The only successful part of it was that C4 from Pulse from below. And that did, you know, try to scooch it back in favor of Pain, but unfortunately was not enough, as not only had the roam game failed at that point for Pain, but also Pain Gaming had lost 1 of their anchors, I believe. So now, 3-1 in favor of INTZ. INTZ clearly having the know-how on Skyscraper, and that stands to reason as it is their their map pick.
So the Frost play, like you said, both teams are valuing that Frost play. We are going to head back downstairs into the kitchen and barbecue lounge, and I'm actually enjoying seeing this Frost come back into the quote-unquote strategies for some of the maps here, especially here on Skyscraper, because it is an operator that has not necessarily seen a lot of playtime in the past few seasons.
Definitely not. Frost is kind of gotten pushed to the sidelines, and it stands to reason why you would see Frost pushed to the sidelines. But all the same, it is really nice to see her played here. We are going to have a kitchen barbecue defense coming out from from INTZ Gaming.
Thinking about the Frost choice as opposed to having a Capcan choice, because Capcan has some viability in some locations and some strategies.
It's just I think it's just the fact that Capcan's limited to putting it on the doorways, plus the fact that he's a 3 armor makes him so much slower. Frost is just a little bit more versatile.
Agreed. One of the things though with Capcan that I'm constantly seeing, at least on this map in particular, I feel like this map, especially for this particular bomb site, has a red tint to it. We see a lot of red, and that can help hide those Capcan lasers, which we have known from experience, we'll say, that red rooms with Capcan lasers are very difficult to see.
Oh, that's an unfortunate drone miss.
Dead drone.
Yeah. Now Pain Gaming looking like they want to take control over the top floor before they push down into the site, and INTZ isn't investing much into that top floor hold here on this kitchen defense, which is a little bit different. They're mostly just focusing on the site itself.
Now Spawns, before he goes and opens up that castle barricade, he just wants to make sure that his rear is going to be clear, and we are going to see no push. No, we're not going to see any kind of flank just yet.
Okay, so in this instance, INTZ is they're leaving Geisha. They're not trying to hold Geisha, which again, very different. That's not usually what happens. Usually Geisha is the focus point of the defense when it comes to a kitchen defense. But in this instance, it's just they're establishing a crossfire on Geisha, not opening it up necessarily, but yes, turning it into something they're trying to bait the attackers into. I like this. It's working out for them so far as they've taken out Noted.
Now Spawns has managed to get his way from the bottom floor up to top. He's moving his way from Terrace into Drum. He could be capturing GCR off guard. It looks as though a nice shot there will actually land from GCR, take out Spawns on the flank. FK has seen a few bullets fly his way. He's got about 5 health left in his sights. And he's now got that long angle you saw from North Stairs all the way into Geisha.
I really like that angle. It's a very predetermined angle. And INTZ clearly, again, displaying their knowledge of Skyscraper.
We are going to see Pain try to focus their way here on that southwest balcony. They're going to have to be wary of those frost traps. As we said before, it's going to cost them a moment or two to look down upon the vault in. Moving forward, we have 25 seconds to go. Looks like the head of Castle will be removed as Lend will fall here to Wang. However, the frost trap going to be a very good welcome mat, and a welcome mat it is. Now a 2-on-4. 2-on-3 now with FK getting removed by the Capital. Now we do have the click up trying to come in here. Eunice will be the savior of the day. However, not Valkyrie, that's going to be the Vector from Mira. Comes in, swooping in. However, INTZ will win this round with Jaeger, GCR coming up from above to get that kill through the drop hatch.
It's always wonderful when a frost mat manages to down somebody in Pro League. And that is it really displaying its worth there. 4-1 now, as INTZ has wholly swept this map thus far. Pain Gaming struggling to get themselves really established on Skyscraper, and again, it's very much stands to reason, as this is where INTZ was trying to bring Pain Gaming. Karaoke going to be Pain Gaming's next defense. We'll see how INTZ chooses to address this. We've seen Karaoke Room defended mostly by Pain Gaming, but somewhat by INTZ as well. It's very clearly favoring that bottom floor down in the kitchen barbecue.
I liked what you had identified it during the last round, where you had the Bandit and the Jaeger top floor trying to basically make the Geisha room a kill box. And we talked about how, okay, that is a strategy we've seen, but that's a strategy we've seen when the bomb site has been upstairs. Generally speaking, I've seen a lot of strategies revolve around maintaining control, like you said, of that Geisha room, especially when you have the barbecue and kitchen as the bomb site.
Yeah, it's a little bit different, but we did see it played similarly, I think, from Playing Ducks it was, earlier in the group stages from Europe. However, you know, it was a little abnormal. Although, when it comes to abnormalities versus normalities on a map like Skyscraper, it's similar to what we saw on Coastline earlier. There's really no way to compare, because the map doesn't see a lot of play in the Pro League as a whole. You can see, unfortunately, some donuts coming out here for Pain Gaming right now. On the other side of the fence, INTZ Gaming, for the most part, having a pretty good day of it.
Yeah, it seems like Pain Gaming is just struggling to find their foothold on this map. And like you said, that is what INTZ, yeah, it could just be the map. Just like you said, INTZ obviously wanted to bring them to this, and they did just that.
Yeah, Pain Gaming letting Skyscraper slip through the ban phase is probably what's allowing INTZ right now to have such an advantage.
Now, I would have liked to have seen what if, because that was a risk for INTZ, because I'm thinking INTZ probably, like you said, wanted Skyscraper over Coastline. I'm just thinking, what if Pain Gaming decided to ban out Skyscraper and leave Coastline in the mix? Would that have thrown a curveball into INTZ's potential ban mentality? I
mean, it might be INTZ that has practiced all night of the maps and just really wanted to bring Pain Gaming to something different. It didn't really matter to them what it was. However, you'd have to talk to them and find out what their actual thoughts on the matter were, because it is entirely possible that they only practice for Skyscraper in this situation. However, again, and we were talking about this, the stakes are so high for this match that I find it hard to believe that they
would leave it up to chance.
Yeah, they would leave it up to chance. They very clearly calculated what's happening here.
Noted is going to be playing this Pulse underneath again, still gathering some information. Looks as though INTZ going to go here for a north and east balcony take. Trying to also get into Geisha. Ninja picking up the first kill there on to Wag.
So that was Wag trying to go for a run out, not working out, but we are going to have Revolts take out Lend elsewhere.
C4 is going to get tossed on out. FK are not going to find that one, and there he will, sweeping on forward. He will take out Spawns. However, he has taken on massive damage. He's going to have about 3 health. He's going to be dictating as the rotator, as the support player, as the flank watcher from the top of the opposite building. Silence to get on in. Looks like a secondary flashbang is going to blind himself, and we will have the advantage go in favor of Revolt for that engagement. 3-3 at the moment. However, FK is, like we said, drastically hurt. Ninja and GCR are most likely going to be the saving graces for this round. Oh, a double tap there. Very nice vector kill. Last man alive is going to be Ninja. He's out here on that west balcony looking in towards the B site. That's going to be the karaoke room. He's going to toss in his final and last stun grenade. Moves in forward. No frost trap to take him out of commission, but we do have Noted and Eunice. Last two alive, and the C4 from underneath will blow him up, and we are going to have round number 6. Going to the hands of Pain Gaming. It's now 4-2.
Good hold there from Pain Gaming, but overall, to be honest, quite a lot of mistakes coming from the other side of the fence on INTZ. Is I feel like they just kind of botched the push a little bit there. I mean, so there was the flashbang coming from the Hibana, pushing on into the Geisha room. There was that lineup that allowed for a swift double kill on the Mira playing with that Vector in the yellow corner. There were just a couple little mistakes here and there that allowed Pain Gaming such leeway. Also, although it's worth noting that the fact that Noted was left alive downstairs as a Pulse with his C4 primed and ready the whole round. There was no attempt at a roam clear coming out from INTZ to try and, you know, get him off the board. And because of that, even if INTZ had fully taken control of the site, they still would have barely had any time left in that instance, and they would have had to get the defuse plant, and we would have had Noted waiting for that and C4ing from below.
Now, we are going to see Eunice play up the Jackal here. First time I've seen a Jackal on a Skyscraper pull, though, in the Pro League.
Yeah, Jackal's seeing a lot more play as of late. And he's going to be bringing that Jackal onto a karaoke defense from INTZ. That's going to be that top floor that we see so commonly held. The same exact floor which we just saw held by Pain Gaming successfully. You can see here the donut from Pain Gaming has gone away. Now, Pain's having a little bit more of a better go here. Might be the start of a comeback.
Now, I had mentioned earlier that it seems like Noted is getting picked off quite early in many of the rounds here, but he is still top ranking on his team here. And again, that's got to come down to being able to get those entry kills, and he's playing his game. He's playing his game whether or not it is always going to work out for him. That's part of being Noted, is taking those risks, and sometimes you come out on top, sometimes you don't.
It's very clearly going to be investing heavily into that Geisha room. We talked about how sometimes there won't be a heavy invest in Geisha, and teams will opt to go for a little bit more of a, hey, let's turn Geisha into a straight bait and switch. But we've only seen that happen when it comes to a kitchen defense, never on a top floor defense from both of these teams. And that's somewhat interesting. I like that INTZ is trying to fully invest here. I also like that the mirror windows aren't going to be to their detriment if they lose control over Geisha. That's the main thing, because the last time INTZ lost control of Geisha, I think it was the first round that Pain won, the mirror window they had, the secondary mirror window they had, was facing into the main hallway of the top floor, and it lended so much control to Pain that they then could just pick apart the INTZ defense one player at a time. And they've since moved away from that.
Oh, and the pre-fire from Spawns comes on out. He's going to tag the headshot on a GCR. Wonderful droning and completion of that engagement. Very nice job there done by Spawns. Now Spawn's gonna go in. Looks like he's gonna look for the shots there in the FK, go to the drop shot, but he misses, and the MPX is gonna get the double kill. FK sweeping up the 2K.
Oh, a 3K for FK as Yuna goes down. That's a really good round there for FK, and it might be the last round for Pain Gaming on this map.
Now Noted is gonna be outside of that reception window by elevator hallway, and it looks as though he's, I want to say he wants to hop in, but again, it's gonna be very exposed if he does. He's got better chances of opening up the main doorway and getting into elevator hallway. However, he will pop in. We're going to see him move forward. The Jackal did not see too much play here, and so he got removed there. That was the 3rd K there for FK. Can he get an ace here? We'll have to see. I mean, he's still alive, plenty of health, plenty of bullets. And he is on the same floor as one of the attackers. Now, it's Noted right now is going very slow for what is typically seen as an Ashe player, but instead, he's just waiting to hear the footsteps. He's waiting to hear some of the telltale signs. There's going to be the 4K from FK, picking off Noted. Last man is going to be Revolt, and I want to see this. Is he going to come up the stairs? No, that's going to be Ninja on those north stairs. And so, with that, we are going to have Revolt try to push in. This is not going to go in favor here of Pain Gaming. Round number 5 for the win. Round 8 will go in favor here for
INTZ.
And that is going to be it. We are going to see map number 1 go to INTZ, and job well done on Skyscraper.
Yeah, so INTZ going to be walking away with their first win. But that is, again, what we expected to see on Skyscraper, a map that very clearly Pain Gaming were not well versed in.
Yeah, there were definitely some opportunities, some hurdles that they did not take advantage of, and there were some drastic, we'll call them, chances and mistakes that we did see INTZ capitalize on.
Yeah, well played to INTZ Gaming for that first round win in this best-of-3 series. I think let's take a look at some of the highlights from that match now as we move on to map number 2.
So here we have, again, FK moving in forward. Now, FK came in loud and clear, especially on the last round, grabbing the 4K. But just ultimately, a lot of the engagements here seem to go. And here's FK's first double kill, and then he got the triple, moved on to get the 4K, and ultimately, just the win. Yeah. So wonderful job there by INTZ. Now again, like we said earlier on in this evening, INTZ, to many people outside of the Latin American scene, is kind of that dark horse, that unknown, that X factor, and they're starting to make a name for themselves here, especially having that kind of victory on Skyscraper against Pain Gaming. So yeah, we are going to get underway here momentarily with our second map in this best-of-3 series. It is going to be, I believe, on Oregon, if I remember correctly. Let's take a moment here. It's either Oregon or Chalet. Oh, it's Chalet. Chalet is going to be the second map. Oregon is our decider map of this best-of-3 series. But we do here, we're just waiting for the players to get back into lobby. But thinking about Chalet and the map that we're getting into now, we've seen some teams. I mean, we've seen all 4 bomb sites.
Yep.
And we know that this is a season where we're going to see a lot of different bomb sites, a lot of different strategies. We don't know, I don't think we've seen either of these teams here on Chalet yet.
Yeah, on the note of how Chalet is played out, more often than not, we have the kitchen trophy and the basement defenses. Those are the 2 main ones. Although, as you stated, we have seen all 4. Master defense, we did see come out for, I believe, Continuum. It was yesterday. And then we did see Bittersweet go here. No, it was Bittersweet invested in that master defense, and it was also that bar defense as well.
They went to the 2 uncommon bomb sites there on Chalet.
Yeah, they were very successful there as well.
They were.
We had Elevate GG struggle very much with that top floor master defense, and then even actually with the bar defense as well.
I mean, you talked about it, especially on that top floor defense site, where each and every time Elevate pushed into library, and you're like, okay, we're here, but what advantage did that get you onto the bomb site? It was just a pinch hold onto the L, because what we saw Bittersweet do was they had a very good crossfire onto the ladder out the balcony of office, as well as the ladder on the, I I guess they're both balconies. That main balcony by the fireplace. That ladder was actually held by someone standing on top of the bush.
I really like that spot.
Stairs.
By the way, having that little spot at the top of West Lobby stairs, that was a fantastic angle to deny that ladder on the balcony. But at the same time, I mean, you could still just rappel on that specific balcony. You could just rappel up onto. And we'll see how it is that both of these teams choose to play it. But I think we're going to see a little bit more of a standardized play of Chalet going to that basement, going for that kitchen trophy in this match.
It's definitely something that we're going to have to stay tuned and see. With Chalet, though, I mean, let's talk about, we've seen a lot of, we'll get off of Chalet for a moment. We'll talk about just general operator picks. We've seen constantly how there have been, in the Latin American scene, more Glaz play than in other regions. We've kind of seen the last of the regions being Latin Americans staying with that Glaz.
It's been a little bit coming out of Europe, but you're right. Most of the Glaz play is exclusively in the Latin American scene. So I think that he's definitely an operator that's still technically viable. I think that the one-way advantage that he gives himself is very powerful, but most other regions have started to rotate off just for Blackbeard because he fulfills a similar role, right? He's very difficult to challenge full frontal. In fact, he's almost impossible for the most part to challenge full frontal depending on the situation. In a straight one-on-one engagement, he beats almost every defender. So, you know, I mean, it's the same thing with Glaz if you can get your smoke down and play it right. But now that there's so few smokes on the field, I mean, Glaz, he's the only one who's usually bringing any. Sometimes we'll have a Jackal with some smoke grenades, but for the most part, now that Ash and Thermite both have flashbangs instead, I mean, it's just...
It's kind of a toss-up, and it's like, okay, well, Glaz is, if he's going to bring his own smoke grenades, 3 is enough to basically clear a site. Not necessarily to then get the plant down and then hold the site, which is what we saw previously during Season 1. We saw typically 6 to sometimes 9 or 12 smoke grenades.
Before Glaz got nerfed, when it was thermal scope, it was like, it was basically just smoke grenades, smoke grenades, smoke grenades all the time. That was the whole attack strategy. Now it's more of a case of, hey, let's put our Blackbeard in that same spot, and he can challenge these players just directly.
And I have noticed that if today's games are anything like the future of the Latin American scene, we are going to start to see kind of a distancing of that Glaz. We've seen Glaz, I think, by 1, possibly 2 teams today, but most of the teams here, most of the rounds, we have been seeing that Blackbeard kind of come in. So it looks as though Latin America, while they might be not as early on in the removal of Glaz from the strategy or from their meta, they seem to be following the European and North American scene just a little bit.
Yeah, I think that eventually he might get phased out, but we'll find out, of course. He still has a space in the meta. It's just you have teams in North America very specifically focusing on that Blackbeard play and really refining that out.
So we are still waiting on one more member to file back into the lobby here. Let's talk briefly about how important the match is right now between Pain Gaming and INTZ. Now, this is the decider match to decide who's going to get 2nd seed, who's going to get 3rd seed in the Group B of the group stages here for the Latin American Pro League. And what that basically means is that the winner gets seed 2. The team that gets seed 2 then goes to playoffs. Seed 3, unfortunately, is cut out, and they will have to go through relegations to make sure they have a position during the Season 3 Pro League. So you want to win today. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. It's do or die.
You want to go to the playoffs? You want to go to LAN? Yes, you have to win today.
So that is going to be how today runs down. We already saw Nox Gaming, unfortunately, not secure their win against BRK Esports. BRK took seed 2 out of Group A, meaning they are going to go up against Black Dragons, which was seed 1 in Group B. Now, the winner of this matchup between INTZ and Pain Gaming is going to go up against Santos Dexterity, Santos being the seed 1 out of Group A. We showed that earlier on in the round, or earlier on in the stream today. We showed off the graphics and how everything went out to works. With the Latin American Pro League, 2 of those 4 teams that make it to the playoffs will get into the LAN event, will get invited, as opposed to how it works in the European and North American scenes, where the top 3 teams in those playoffs will make their LAN event, make their LAN appearance.
Right. So the stakes are a little bit higher here for the Latin American scene, and making it into the playoffs is just the first step of actually going into LAN. For North America and Europe, it's a little bit more lax. It's okay. You know what? You made it into the playoffs. You're probably gonna, as long as you win one of these, you're gonna be fine.
Yes. And I think even if you make it into the playoffs but you don't make it to LAN, it is still worth noting that you are guaranteed a spot so long as you have 3 original members on your squad, you will make it into this Season 3 or the next season's Pro League. Without having to go through relegations, your spot's secured. So this is not only for a chance to get to LAN, it's also a chance to guarantee the team's position for the next Pro League. Because the top 4 teams out of each region are guaranteed, the bottom 4 teams in each region do have to go through relegations with the top 4 teams coming out of the Challenger.
Right, so the question in this particular match moving forward is, will Pain Gaming be able to push past the obvious deficiency of practice that they had on the previous map, moving on to Chalet now, or will they be mentally fatigued from their loss? I mean, it was a pretty decisive one from INTZ. Now, I mean, I think that it won't really matter at that, you know, the previous round. Obviously, they're going to be like, okay, INTZ clearly practiced Skyscraper, guys. Let's not stress ourselves out about this loss too much.
Yep.
So moving on to Chalet now, Pain Gaming's pick, I think that it will probably be a little bit, I think we might see a third map.
So, I mean, we've talked about it before, or I've at least, we've mentioned it during interviews, and I want to get your opinion too, because of your longevity and your experience in the Pro League. When you do come after a loss such as that, a 5-2 deficit, a 5-2 loss, and you might feeling down, it might be getting under your skin. How do you turn around from that? How do you come back from that?
I mean, it depends on the team. It depends on the players on said team. But most of the time, it usually just comes down to a lot of hyping up. And, you know, for some people, it just comes down to the logic of it. I mean, when it really comes, in the end, there's no reason you can't just, like, start turning around these maps and start winning the next one. As long as you have put in the effort and your team knows you've put in said effort, it shouldn't be a problem. I mean, it's not like we have an actual momentum system in the game. For the most part, it just comes down to practice. Who has put in the most on the map you're going on to? I mean, sometimes it comes down to team synergy and just pure skill on the individual players, but a lot of the time, like for example in that last match, it came down to practice. It came down to the fact that INTZ knew Skyscraper and Pain clearly did not.
I think you talked about it there too. You mentioned it for a brief second about having the ability to think logically about that and why did you get the loss, and reflect instantly and say, okay, listen, that was INTZ's map. They got it out of the way. We weren't as good on it, logically speaking, and now we need to come back and we're going to play our map and we're going to play our way and we're going to get our win. And
you know, it's really interesting. So if we're going to jump into this conversation, since apologies by the way, we are waiting for one more person. If we're going to jump into this conversation, it's a really big loop. So you have things like there's no monetary system in this game, which means that inherently then it becomes down to the team that's practiced the most. But you would say in a lot of other games, for example, that there's a ceiling. You know, you hit a point where there's like, you know, there's not much more to be discovered about the game. Think about Siege. That's not true at all. There is so much that you can discover about Siege. So many different little nasty angles and just holes through the floor, C4 spots, impact grenade holes, particular places even to put barbed wire. There are so many things that you can discover about this game that are being discovered every single day. I mean, stuff that we see new stuff in the Pro League like every week. One new thing at least every week. And that's not true about a lot of other games, and that's what makes Siege, I think, special. And that's why it is dependent exclusively about how much time you have put in instead of your momentum, because momentum is just fairy dust.
Momentum is something that can easily sway.
Yeah, I mean, as long as you have put in the practice, you can always come back.
And I mean, talking about or referring back to what you were saying about how this game is so dynamic and there's always stuff you're learning. This game has not reached a stale corner just yet.
I mean, even old maps that have become stale, people revisit them and reinvent them.
The reason for that is because Ubisoft, the developers of this game, obviously, they take a look at it's the way they approach, the way they philosophically approach this game and the DLC content. A lot of other games out there, the developers try not to impact the meta, not to impact the gameplay whatsoever. They'll do little tweaks, little additions here or there. Siege, the developers over at Ubisoft building Rainbow Six Siege, every 3 months, they basically say, here's what the meta used to be. They flip it around and now they're saying, we're going to add 2 new operators and we're going to change up everything.
I mean, yeah, in the last DLC we did see Mira added to the game, and that did mix up the meta quite a lot.
You think about Blackbeard and Valkyrie. You think about Capital when he first came out. He was a big play. You now have Hibana out of the Japanese DLC, the last season for year 1. You've got Mira coming out here. Like, every single 3 months, we are definitely seeing some huge leaps and bounds and changes in the meta. Also, the mid-season reinforcement. I mean, Glaz getting his thermal scope. How big of a change was that? Monty being able to full shield himself and live by C4, that drastically changed the meta. And so each of these different impacts, these different, we'll call them milestones in the game, are what make this so dynamic.
Yeah, and it is really cool to see all the new different little innovations that teams come up with aside from just the changes that actually get made to the structure of the game. I'm talking about like angles specifically, just overall the strategy of holding a site outside of the operator picks and all that. It is really cool to see all these teams coming up with things like that, or you know, things like what we saw from, I believe it was Untitled, that drop down on border, going onto the northmost balcony. I had no idea that existed until I saw it from Untitled, and that is so cool to see.
And speaking of stuff like outside of the operator DLC choices and stuff, we've also talked about how we've got things such as when, I don't know if you remember, but back, I think it was between Season 1 and Season 2, the addition of glass being able to get broken. And that's what kind of reduced the pushes from garage on bank. You no longer felt safe to push in because you couldn't stay behind the police car because the glass could now be shot through. That was a big change. You had the changes about the caliber destruction during Season 4. Like all of these different things. Yeah, there's been a lot of really cool changes that have been made to Siege over time. But ladies and gentlemen, we still are dealing with technical difficulties. So we're going to go to a short 10-minute break while we wait for them to be sorted out and we can finish off this second match of the evening. Yeah, so please stick with us, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right back. And we're back, ladies and gentlemen, for the second best-of-3 series. And we're here with everyone ready to go. Now, we are going to get underway momentarily into the map. It is going to be played on Chalet. It's going to be map number 2 in this best-of-3 series. The first map had won quite decisively on Skyscraper by INTZ over Pain Gaming. It was a 5-2 victory, and we saw some neat things, some different things, especially that exhibition and trophy room hold.
Well, a couple of different variations than what we're used to.
Yep.
I like the way that we had INTZ holding that barbecue. Every time they went down to barbecue, it was a pretty decisive victory,
Yes.
especially that first round. I mean, they came back from, I believe, a 4 and 5 into bringing it into a 4-on-0 in the end. It was pretty decisive. The way that they chose to handle the top floor was also very cool because they didn't invest into Geisha Room, which is what we see so many teams do when they go into that barbecue hold. They chose to be a little bit more on the outskirts of the Geisha and try to hold from, establish a crossfire actually on Geisha and turn it into a murder hole, or murder box that we were talking about earlier, but without actually giving that away initially. They didn't open up the walls preemptively per se. They simply knew the angles to shoot through like 3 layers of walls and get the kill.
So we mentioned it during Skyscraper. We've seen Frost used by both teams on Skyscraper, and that came as quite of a shock, I'll say. At least to me it did. Do you see any viability with Frost in Chalet here?
Arguably Frost is just as useful on Chalet as she is on Skyscraper. It really comes
it's just a trophy room window. That's it.
Yeah, trophy room window, but if you sometimes we've actually seen before 3 Frost maps go into that trophy room window, and they have been very useful from that position.
1 in, down, 2 in, down,
yeah,
3 in, down.
We've actually seen that though before in the Pro League. It was further back,
Season 1,
season 1, season 2, but you know.
We are going to get underway, ladies and gentlemen, with our second map in this best-of-3 series. It's going to be on Chalet. We're going to have Pain Gaming starting on attack, INTZ kicking it off on defense, and to our dismay, no Frost.
Yeah, it will be on the trophy, I believe that is. I don't quite read Portuguese, but Trofeus, I think that's trophy.
I'd say that's inaccurate.
Yeah, that's what's going to be INTZ defending first. Pain, meanwhile, they are going to be bringing a lot of destructibility there on that Sledge and Buck, and that's just because, hey, you know, we're going to be attacking onto a trophy. In all likelihood, we got to have that. As well as the Thermite Habana. While Thermite might not be especially useful on a trophy attack, he is useful on a downstairs attack. So you got to have all your bases covered here from Pain, and they are very wisely doing that.
I think what you can also, if you are going to bring that Thermite Habana, and because you're not exactly sure where to go, but you want to make use of Habana if it's going to be this trophy kitchen hold, what you could do is put her on the lobby side of the kitchen, of the building, by the black vans out there. And you can actually, from a distance, try to open up some of that trophy wall to get who's ever that lurker, who's ever that sentry inside a trophy is. Try to get them out of position to be collided upon or collapsed upon by the typical Blackbeard on the window.
Right. And what we are going to see here from, on the note of the roster coming out from, not the roster, rather the lineup of the operators coming out from Pain Gaming, the one thing that's missing really is a Glaz or a Blackbeard. There's no hard push potential coming from that team. And they've sacrificed it instead for even more destructibility, having a Sledge and a Buck. And that, while it's pretty wise to have that lineup, I like the what Pain has here. It can work universally, whether it be on a basement attack or an upstairs attack. At the same time, not having the Blackbeard or the Glaz, that's really gimping yourself there, just in terms of engagements. It's relying on your teammates' individual just like gunplay skill, I guess, winning those fights, and that's admirable. But it's again, it's gimping yourself.
Now, here we're going to see INTZ starting up a defense that we've seen before, but it's not something that's currently common in today's meta. And it's going to be holding downstairs very hard with a lot of utility, a lot of resources into that downstairs large garage. All 4 walls have been reinforced. They've also reinforced the 2 snowmobile garage walls, so they're going to be investing heavily into this bottom floor hold.
Yeah, and that bottom floor hold is going to be taken apart piece by piece here by Pain. They're going to start by opening up the big garage, and then we're going to have Habana trying to pressure on in. Nope, she's going to rappel up onto the balcony, actually. Looks like they're just trying to make sure that they don't get run out on from big garage right now.
Now, Silence did take a little bit of damage there as he had to get out of the large garage. We saw him move back into Weinsteller, and most likely he's going to try to re-engage at a later point.
Does look like we're going to have Noted trying to open up the trophy floor from below as the rest of his team takes control over the top floor. We'll likely have Spawn starting to open up those holes once he's sure he doesn't have to worry about the roam from Library.
Now, I find it a little odd that the drop hatch in Master Bedroom was soft, and instead of having Sledge, who was right next to there, open it up, they are going to use that Hibana charge.
They've also rotated a player off of, I mean, it's not like the Hibana charge is going to be doing much else, but no, you're right, it could have been either one. They're also going to have Noted rotate off of their big garage and instead just kind of go upstairs to try and open up holes in the floor down into the ceiling of INTZ, which means that they're forfeiting a little bit of trophy pressure.
Now we did see one C4 get tossed out here by FK and missed its target. Looks like Eunice trying to engage, opening up the doorway. That's going to be a good kill, reserving the bullets to finish him off. GCR somehow managed to get top floor, and it looks as though he's trying to engage. He's inside of the library, trying to engage with WAG on the balcony of office.
Pain Gaming attack is stalling out now as Ninja takes out Noted. 33 seconds to go, and they need to put themselves in a position to actually push into the bomb site.
And Ninja's got to be wary of the drop hatch above. Now, fortunately, I don't think he's in an area where he can be seen, but that is also one of the pre-fire spots that you look for when you fall down the hatch. GCR's looking to see if someone's going to try to push on in. There's going to be the Thermite. He gets picked off, and that will be GCR getting yet another kill. Spawns, though, going to use that SMG-11 to finish off Ninja. And we are going to see a triple kill, a double kill come on in. 3 kills going to happen here for Spawns, and he just moves in and annihilates the defense that remained inside of sight.
What a collapse there by Pain. Excellent execution in the last 20 seconds of that round. It was seemingly an INTZ Gaming round will be swiped away at the last moment. That was a very good collapse. I mean, it really just came down to having full control over the outskirts of the bomb site, where they didn't really have any direct control on the site itself, but then they just kind of pushed in all at once.
We are going to have Pain Gaming opting to go downstairs into the snowmobile garage and wine cellar.
Yeah, a little bit of a different pick there. I mean, different, of course, from INTZ, but again, basement is just as viable as the trophy room more often than not. A very similar lineup on the INTZ attack here, except for we do not have a Sledge, instead bringing a Twitch to the board. And I don't think there's a Thermite as well, actually.
There is no Thermite. They brought the Ash instead.
Somewhat similar. Interesting that they don't have a Thermite here, though. On a basement attack, that means that they're very limited in their options where they can go. I think Pain might have actually gone into the basement simply because they were expecting this. They have mixed up the operator selection of INTZ Gaming in this by going down here. Yeah, not having a Thermite, basically you're limited to the choices. Like you can have a small hole in Snowmobile, and you can do a bar drop down take, and that can work. Obviously, it is a viable strat, but it means there's just so many less options for each pressure. You can't really do a good execution onto the wine hallway. You can try, I suppose. Oh, actually no. Since Pain Gaming has opened up the wine hallway the wine closet, that means that it would be just as easy to attack onto a wine hall as if they had a Thermite.
Yep.
They haven't really limited themselves at all here. They would have, but since Pain Gaming opened that wall, not at all.
Now there's Lend. He will spot out WAG. That's going to be inside of the kitchen hallway. Getting droned out. Now Noted's going to be underneath inside of the garage. He's going to see FK. I believe that's inside of Trophy.
Yeah, no, that was in the trophy hallway or around Trophy, just in general.
Behind Noted, sees it, tosses a C4, gets his kill to FK. Ninja at the same time will fall by Spawns. Spawns has just been doing so much work today so far, and he's just continuing the onslaught. A 3-on-4 is going to ensue after what was originally looking like an INTZ takeover. But losing their buck and losing their Twitch, it's not in their favor any longer.
And that's going to be Silence, the Hibana being taken out now. It's all down to GCR and the Thatcher.
Now up top, there's going to be a little bit of engagement here. GCR pokes on into the lobby, tries to get a couple bullets into spawns, but he's not allowing it to dwindle his chances of getting this fight.
Len going to try and take control of this Master, and this is very dangerous. I mean, he's got to contest with this Revo, who's the Jaeger playing in the library. And generally speaking, whoever's playing in library or by chimney has the advantage in terms of the angles they can challenge onto you, because you can only challenge from the Master hallway. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 angles they can challenge you just from chimney alone.
On top of that, they were moving blind. They were not getting droned at. Now we do see GCR on a drone at the moment, but its drone is all the way downstairs. He's got 60 seconds to go to try to clear out top floor and then continue on. Now we will have someone inside of the lockers, or inside of the offices. Looks like Lend is going to try to get in a bit of engagement here, and it's going to be Jaeger swinging in for the trade and swinging in for the collapse. Now last man alive is going to be GCR. He's inside of the master bedroom. Diffuser's fallen on those west stairs. And we will see this likely go into the hand of Pain Gaming.
Ooh, I got to see this shot. That was a fantastic kill there by Noted. Well played to him. Look at this angle play. And now we will see Pain Gaming 2 rounds to 0 from INTZ. A good start here on Chalet as contrast to the Skyscraper play. This might be the map number 3 that Pain Gaming so desperately wants to bring us to.
Now, that leaning back and forth that we just saw Noted do, a lot of people have asked me before, how do they do that? And, well, first off is you have your button on hold, not toggle, for leaning.
Actually, you can do both.
You can do both?
Yeah.
You can go left or, okay, well, in any case, a lot of it comes down to button placement, where you're going to put it, because some people will keep the default Q and E to lean left and right. Most, or I don't want to say most, there are some pros that actually put the lean buttons on the sides of their mouth, allowing them to lean back and forth a lot easier. I don't know what your style of preference is.
I mean, I do a little bit of old school. I do hold on Q and E, very default. And I've been doing that since the beginning. Actually, a lot of people don't know how I make that, how that works, because it isn't really the preferred way of doing it. One of the more prominent players who are really good at fast peeking, which, by the way, if you're wondering what fast peeking is, it's leaning the opposite direction to the direction you want to actually lean, and then you'll lean into that direction faster. So you lean right when you want to lean left, and then immediately after coming off of your right lean, you lean left. And it makes your peak just that much faster. And one of the more prominent players who do something like that is, just to reference, Bolo. He's an underage player who can't compete in Pro League, but he's really good at that fast peek. And he actually does Q and E on toggle. So, I mean, it really just comes down to preference. But yeah, just the basic concept is there, and it can be achieved no matter what you're doing when it comes to your binds.
Ooh, Spawn's narrowly escaping death as some bullets go flying in through the window. It looks like it's going to be FK trying to keep a hold of this library. Spawn's going to be throwing it out. Realize that, oh hey, this window's not opened up yet.
Yeah, this is just Pain Gaming starting their control with library, and this is what we've seen from a lot of teams before. It's just you got to take control of that library before you push into the rest of the map, because as we've talked about many times, the roam game on Chalet is so important.
Oh, there it is. GCR not able to get all the bullets down. However, Spawns will swap on over to that L85 and then finish him off. However, we do have a trade happening as Noda gets taken out of commission. And FK not ready to give it up just yet. Tags another kill there onto Spawns on those fireplace stairs. Oh, I don't think Wags realized that Bandit, that's Ninja, moved over to Gaming Room. We will have to see here. He actually is looking at the hole that's been opened up by Ash earlier. However, Ninja's not going to move. He's just waiting to hear sound at the moment. He's waiting to hear where Wag is going to force his way over to.
Wag is very much conscious of this Bandit, waiting nice and patiently for the push.
So FK still up inside of the offices. Now, with both of these kills happening on the quote-unquote roamer clearers, which are going to be the Spawns and going to be Noted, unfortunately, that's going to force Pain to invest in either going up top and clearing them out or continuing on to the kitchen.
Ooh, that bandit might actually get away. No,
Nope.
Wag will come around the corner at the right moment and take out Ninjas. However, damage done, time wasted. Good roam there by 9 and GCR. In 38 seconds to go, it's a 3-on-3. Pain are the ones in the disposition here.
Looking on up from the side inside
Oh,
of
the
jungle is
bush.
going to be FK. What a spot. It's almost typically an unexpected spot, but it's also unexpected. And there we are going to see a double kill happening by FK before he gets taken out of commission. You have 2-on-1 at the moment. Revolt going to go up against Silence and Lend.
He's going to light up Lend, but not get the kill. He will secure it. A 1-on-1 now.
Last man alive is going to be Silence. He peeks on around with a 9mm from the trophy and will take him down. Int's going to secure this round.
Good round there by INTZ, managing to walk away victorious. That's going to be their first round on the board on Chalet.
Now, keeping an eye here, we are going to see, looking like a Doc's going to be played here on the defensive side, which Payne, I don't think has chosen a Doc before. I don't think we remember seeing a Doc last round or last map.
Yeah, Doc is kind of fallen out of the meta. Rook especially. The 3 armors in general, they're not really played very much. You do see Miro, of course, played quite a lot, but apart from her, really most of them have been put to the sidelines. Talking about that last round, though, what happened there was that we did have INTZ have a successful roam game. Again, talked about it before. The roam game on Chalet is ever so important to the hold just as a whole. And because we did have 9, I believe it was, waste so much time with his bandit, that was Ninja actually, because he wasted so much time with his bandit as well as getting 2 kills, I believe it was, he did put his team in a great position to win the round overall.
Now the attack phase just about to begin. Spawn's going to be up top, possibly throwing out one of the Valkyrie cameras and then staying up there for a little bit. Wag's going to join him as Noted's positioned himself downstairs.
I think playing the Doc, while it might be a little bit abnormal, something that we're not used to seeing, playing the Doc on this particular floor, it makes a lot of sense. Having him play inside of Trophy, I mean, you're dealing with grenades from below, you're dealing with grenades, flashbangs from just the B window, just shooting from below. You're dealing with so many different ways that the attackers suppress you, the window behind you, even from, they can open up the west lobby wall. Having that extra HP is extremely useful more often than not.
Yeah, and it's definitely something that you're almost, unless you're going to try to peek the trophy window, you're not necessarily going to get a one-shot down or a one-shot kill. You're going to take bullets through the floor. You're going to take, like you said, nade shrapnel damage. You're going to take just damage here and there, like these bullets right here. That's not an instant kill, which means that Eunice has the option. He can either re-engage or he can hit a kill.
Eunice would have actually died there if he wasn't playing Doc, too, because he took a lot of bullets. In fact, he took so much that he would have died as the 3 armor, but because he healed himself earlier, again, he didn't die. So that is, again, Doc being extremely useful in that position.
Now, we do have Ninja being taken out, but he has opened up enough of the floor that FK can get a read on where this Doc is going to be. GCR also looking through the drone hole, trying to tag him and collapse him. Looks like the shots will finally go through, and that's FK underneath. They're going to toss up a couple bullets his way. Flashbang's going to go in. GCR is going to get rid of some barbed wire and then focus his own way back inside. Wag trying to go with a noted hole as he goes in outside of the fireplace doorway, looking out through.
And now we have so many roamers from Pain, that is Wag and Noted. It's all down to Spawn, the only player still on the bomb site to hold against 4 attackers.
Now, I don't know if GCR has managed to get into sight. He was looking like it earlier, but it looks as though a very good shot there. That one's going to be from Silence and sweeps out Noted. Now we will have GCR trying to force his way into the window as well as Abana. That's Silence. Last man alive is going to be Wags. He comes on up, sweeps on 1 kill, but 3 more to go unless this round is going to go in the hands of INTZ. Gaskin is going to get tossed on out, and I don't know if that's going to sweep off a GCR. No, it will not. However, the SMG-11 will slice around. Silence will fall. Now, Lend is drastically hurt. This is going to be
the drop's not open.
Drop is not open, and unfortunately, that's going to be a lot of time wasted for Wag. Diffuser has been planted, but in Wag's favor, Blackbeard is a mere bullet away from death.
He might actually be able to clutch this.
though WAG is going to be spotted out there. We hear the tagging. Gas grenade going to go out. Will then fall. Oh, it's going to down him. However, he turns the corner, looks the wrong way. GCR is going to get the kill there, and that is going to be round number 4 going to INTZ. It's 2-2.
That was a very valiant effort by WAG to try and bring that back for his team. Fortunately unsuccessful. The take from INTZ was very thorough. They had plenty of pressure going on to the back of B bomb site to get rid of that dock, and then as soon as that happened, all they really did was push in, because they knew there were so many roamers coming up from Pain Gaming. As well, we've talked about it before, the roam game is so important, and Pain Gaming very clearly invested too heavily into it.
Yeah, the roam game, especially on this map. There's many maps where the roam game is important. Consulate's one of them. This map is one of them. Oregon even. But Chalet seems to be won and lost, hands down, by the roam game. Nearly 90-95% of the time, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, well, we are going to see a basement defense coming out from INTZ here.
They are going to close up the entire closet this time, whereas
there are two schools of thoughts there. Yeah. There's the let's close it up, and there's the open it up, of course. And what's going on there with that thought process is simply this: is if you're going to be playing someone in the closet with a shotgun, smoke, for example, an SMG-11, and gas canisters, then usually it's a good thing to have him be able to play versatile and be able to push out into that hallway and get a couple kills here and there. But if you're not going to be playing smoke in that closet, or even if you are, usually it's just better to keep it closed. Especially if the other team doesn't have a thermite, they then become very limited in the methods that they can actually execute an attack on you.
Now, Pain Gaming is going to bring that Hibana thermite combination to the match today, so they will have the luxury of choosing wherever they want to push from.
Yeah, it looks like it might be a wine cellar take, judging on the spawns here.
Oh, they know he's here. They're going to toss in one grenade. Oh, the ADS is going to stop it. Now, Flashbang's going to try to finish that out. Unfortunately, it didn't go all the way through the vent. And therefore, GCR is going to escape with his life. He moves out.
Default cam gets taken out finally by Pain Gaming, but the damage has been done. INTZ is fully aware of where Pain is situated now. And they have rotated players over to try and hold these trophy kitchen. Look at that. A Valkyrie and Jaeger in position here to stop this take from Pain.
GCR trying to hold onto the kitchen window, which is right where Noted's peeking, and he might be met with a couple bullets he's going to have to eat, because you've got FK as well inside of the kitchen. Now, FK's job is to keep an eye on the trophy as GCR watches the cover from that kitchen window. Noted had managed to get his way here inside of the trophy room. He's right behind the L corner. So FK waiting for some shots. Now, the hole in the wall will allow him to toss. Oh, good wall bang.
Shot.
Wonderful job by FK. I was going to say that the hole in the wall will allow him to basically toss a C4 through, but he's going to hold on to that instead and just say, I can get the shot.
Waggy is going to trade it back, though, onto GCR. GCR gets a little too aggressive there, trying to rotate back into the site. 1 minute to go, though, and Pain still has yet to take control over Trophy, which is going to really put a hamper on this overall wine cellar take.
I don't think they're going to invest too much more into it. We already see the thermite downstairs as well as Revolt. That's going to be the Thatcher. They're working the way and opening up this wall.
I don't see this happen much anymore.
You don't. I think WAG won't necessarily be expecting it. Gas grenade is going to get tossed on out. Now, unfortunately, tossing that gas grenade might have given away. Oh, FK trying to follow through the hatch. Revolt will see it and take him out. However, the trade doesn't even come out as Eunice picks up a double kill to finish off Silence and Ninja. And that is going to be Pain Gaming securing this round, leading the way 3-2 now.
Some really excellent pressure into that A wall there from Pain Gaming. Pain Gaming trying to bring it back, and they have put themselves in that lead like you talked about. That execution was very good from Pain, despite the fact that they could not take control over the trophy room for the majority at the beginning of the round. And, you know, that is usually step number 1 on that take. You have to take control of trophy. That's the whole thought process, right? You got to take control of trophy to deny the flank later into the round. But Pain just ignored it and pushed straight into the wine cellar hallway, and it worked great for them.
I think one of the reasons that we have Pain Gaming being able to stick around in this game is because you mentioned earlier when we were talking about the player rosters and how Pain Gaming seems to go with a quote-unquote 4-man squad with Noted rotating in and out, doing what he needs to help his team succeed. And that, I think, is lending them to still work and still function properly and effectively if Noted gets taken out early on in the round.
Now Pain Gaming on defense, Ints back onto attack. It's going to be a Pain basement hold. Pain went down into the basement for the first round, I believe it was. They did have success here. Well, their first defense, actually. It was the second round, but it was their first defense, I think.
Now Spawns is going to be the only defender top side, and he's moving on over to the library at the moment. It looks as though he's got some Valve cams he's tossed outside and just waiting for the right push out. GCR is going to work his way outside by these black vehicles, and you also have Ninja, who's in the big garage. So it looks as though we might be seeing Pain Gaming going for a north take from the north garage.
Yeah, it's going to situate themselves in that north garage like you talked about. And this is the more standardized take here that we're used to seeing on the wine cellar. You start things off by taking control of this trophy room. Once you have trophy room, then you can hold the flank, and it becomes less of an issue. Like we have Wag here outside in the main lobby looking to attack onto that dining table, but he's going to be met with a wall of fire, which is in contrast to what we had in the last round where FK was allowed free reign through dining and trophy.
Now, what you saw with FK tossing that Claymore down at the trophy window, that was in case the roamers from the top floor try to jump out master balcony, come back in behind them in trophy. It's one of the typical spots that you'll find people trying to rotate around from, but most of the Pain Gaming members are going to be main floor, out of the bar, or going downstairs back into the snowmobile and wine cellar.
You can see here Silence opening up that main A wall. And oh wow, this aggressive play from Unis will take out Silence. That's the perk of having the wall opened rather than closed.
It's also to the fault of INTZ that they don't already open up that door. Even if you're not going to use it, it still forces the defenders to double think themselves. Now the nade will come out here from Unis, and that's going to land onto the head of Lend. A good shot there by Ninja to get a trade though on a Spawns.
Ints are definitely on the back foot here, but they do have the potential to bring this back. With only 32 seconds to go, they do need to push in to the site though.
They will have to, and it looks as though we have a 3-on-4, 20 seconds remains. GCR going to toss in some flashbangs, and I think Unis is going to be still able to look on through. Now Ninja will get taken out of commission. A 2-on-4. Left flashbang comes. GCR is going to move in forward. He's going to look to the side. It looks like Unis will fall. However, we will then see GCR trade right back with him, and that's Wag picking up the kill. Pain Gaming now goes up 4-2.
Pain Gaming clearly feeling very confident on their map pick, Chalet, and this is the same thing that we were seeing from INTZ in the parallel on Skyscraper earlier today. Now we are going to likely see map number 3 in this best of 3 series. Pain Gaming going to be on attack to finish things off, or to try and finish things off here. INTZ on defense, and they're going to go for the trophy room. They are going to be bringing a castle to the board here, which we haven't seen yet in this match.
The castle play, though, we have seen be very effective previously. Not necessarily, like you said, in this match, or not even necessarily in this season, because Chalet is not one of the core maps that you see played often. But in previous seasons, we have seen where Castle will put one barricade on the kitchen doorway facing dining hall, put another Castle barricade on the fireplace doorway into dining, and by the time they open up the first Castle barricade, and by the time they dwindle down the remaining clock and push into dining, they're met with another Castle barricade that they have no utility for.
Right, and it does seem like it is going to be a full upstairs investment here from INTZ. Going to be putting a lot of reinforcements down here, a lot of barbed wire probably some castle barricades. Try and hold this top floor, and we don't see this very often anymore, and I think it's a little bit of an older meta, but it might be what INTZ needs to mix things up here and get themselves into overtime on Chalet.
A good Valk came out here by FK. It's going to give him a lot of line of sight. However, it will get spotted out as Eunice just takes one shot to take it out.
Yeah, this defense strat is really just situated, just main focus is to slow down the attack as much as possible on that top floor. Because where do the attackers go 9 times out of 10 when they're attacking a trophy? They take control of Master and Office. That's the first step in an attack here. And it's usually pretty successful because it's difficult to defend Master Office. But if you invest enough manpower and utility in holding it, you can at least delay the attackers for, you know, a minute or two. You might lose a man or two, but it's still worth it more often than not.
Now GCR was met with a few bullets. He's down to about 3 health. We saw him there on the fireplace stairs looking in towards the windows of L, which are looking at the balcony of bathroom. That's going to give some cover to the bandit that was in there, but Spawns has already navigated himself into the jacuzzi. He's going to pick up 1 kill onto Ninja. That's the bandit falling, and now it looks as though Master Bedroom might be under the control here of Pain Gaming. FK not ready to give up full comfort just yet, or full takeover. He's then going to go back up the stairs, try to challenge move over here, back into the fireplace, and then move into the dining hall.
So a full default here from INTZ. They're just trying to keep themselves consolidated as much as possible. They've already lost 1 player, and he didn't really do much. There's still plenty of time for Pain. Only 2 minutes off the board.
Now those nades underneath, they were pre-cooked by Revolt, trying to get a kill onto the box area of Trophy. Didn't actually get the Valkyrie that was in there, or the castle. It was Silence.
So unfortunately, because INTZ has been fully consolidated down to the site, last time that Pain was in this position where they had to collapse onto a full hold from INTZ on Trophy, they were successful in this collapse. They just saw Pain came all at once, and INTZ lost their fights. So if history repeats itself here, a little piece of rubble is preventing Silence from shooting Pain or Wag right now. They're staring at each other and they don't even know.
They're literally staring at each other at the moment. 20 seconds left to go. Wag didn't hop on in. Diffuser goes down. Uni's going to try to collapse and do the same thing. He will meet the same fate. Spawns hopped on downstairs from the hatch. He's going to pick up 1 kill. Len's going to take the shots on the noted. Silence gets a 3K. Last man alive is going to be Revolt. He's inside and he will go down by GCR. INTZ not ready to give up just yet. It's 4-3. INTZ still has 1 round yet to bring it to overtime.
Yeah, they're going to have to win on attack, though. And they've been having better luck on defense, I think, so far throughout this match. So I'll see if they're going to be able to make this happen. Pain Gaming is going to be bringing that dock and going to Trophy yet again. I believe INTZ was actually successful last time we went into this circumstance. The dock did get taken out very early into the round.
Yeah, they did put a lot of pressure on Doc from below. And as you had mentioned, as you called out basically, was the fact that he would have been dead had it not been anyone else but Doc.
Yeah, if it were a rook even, he would have died. That heal really did save Eunice the last time he was put into the Trophy defense, but will it be enough this time? I mean, it actually technically wasn't last time. He did get a kill, but he still died.
Yeah, and when you're holding Trophy, if you were the sole survivor in Trophy, the sole sentry in Trophy, it doesn't really matter if you get a kill if you die too. Like you in that case, it's not about getting a trade. Yeah. It's not about trying to even out.
You need to survive.
You need to survive for the final moments, trying to push in through that window.
That's the only factor that is really important about Trophy hold. So one of the problems that Pain had on the last time I think they tried to defend Trophy was that they were too heavily invested in their roam game. They had way too many people roaming. They had Noted on that Pulse roaming out there. They had Rev on that Jaeger roaming, and actually it wasn't Rev. It was Wag on Smoke. And because the Pulse and the Smoke were both roaming so heavily, as soon as the Dock got taken out and the I think it was also the Valkyrie got taken out, then there was only one more anchor on the site, and the attacker simply just pushed in and secured the round. It was simple as.
Now we do have two roamers, like we said, Noted and Wag. Noted was top 4. You saw him go right back to the west vestibule. And he might be trying to peek out towards the main lobby. Those black cars, those black vans we saw up by the main lobby, a kitchen lobby. There is Silence trying to challenge Wags, who is on these kitchen stairs. He's feeling a pinch now because he's got pressure from underneath and pressure from the lobby. Let's take a look to see just how he's going to get out of this engagement.
This is very important. Wag is actually on the west lobby stairs, the lower west lobby stairs, which means he's not stuck. We have Noted right now who's kind of stuck. He cannot rotate back to the site unless he goes to the main lobby, and that's dangerous. Whereas Wag can still go up just straight on up through the west stairs until he gets cut off from that west lobby door.
Now we do have FK going to be looking. He already droned him out. There's the shot. There's the collapse. A wonderful job. Now Noted is still downstairs in the wine cellar.
So he unfortunately spent a little bit too much time on those west lobby stairs, and FK managed to collapse on him. It looks like we might have INTZ actually secure overtime here.
Lend wants to hop in. I think GCR might be the leader, though, in this engagement. Flashbang's going, and he's going to hop in. Looks like he's going to meet a couple bullets. He will be injured, down for the count. We are going to see Revolt pick up that kill. Now, that's going to force Lend to rethink his opportunities of trying to get in there, but the diffuser is inside. So he will have to hop in and get that diffuser planted. Looks like one clean kill, goes for a second, but gets injured in the process. Silence takes out Revolt. Ninja, however, will finish off Noted. Looks as though Hibana gets picked back up, and it looks we've got 2 members left on Pain Gaming. Going to be Spawns and Eunice. Spawns going to be inside of the kitchen, right underneath of the window, and Eunice trying to buckle down for the fight that's going to happen here. Left is going to be pushing in. That's going to be FK getting rid of the barbed wire. Moves onto the side. He gets almost taken out. Hand shots, and he still is able to survive from those. Lend will pick off the smoke. Doc has been injured, but he is Doc. He's going to get back up. Diffuser's going to get planted over here in the back of Trophy, and the window kills come swinging in. Ninja will pick it up, and we're now going to go to overtime. INTZ not ready to just give up just yet.
Good round there from INTZ, securing that initial early kill onto Smoke, gave them the confidence in the men and the coverage that they needed. Once they had control over the west lobby, then they could simply push in to the bomb site by pincering. Because Noted, on his roam game, wasn't really doing anything with that pulse. He was just kind of lingering in Trophy. Because we weren't seeing the attackers trying to pressure into the top floor or the library side of things at all. It was just straight up, hey, let's take from B window. The roam game in that instance is then rendered useless. So the smoke's gone, the first roamer, the second roamer's not doing anything, then it becomes a 3 versus 5.
In all honesty, I felt as though what I was expecting to see was we had Wag as the smoke on the kitchen stairs, and he was being pinched. Twitch from above, Hibana from below. They were dead set on going for him. They didn't actually realize, or maybe they weren't just even caring about Noted on the pulse inside a wine cellar. I would have either liked to have seen Noted try to peek out from the door of wine cellar onto the Hibana, trying to make sure, okay, you can nail down the reloads time, or open up a C4 hole from the wine cellar closet facing those external stairs and try to fight that Hibana.
Well, Pain Gaming, defense in the first round overtime. They are going to go downstairs. This is clearly their preferred site. Meanwhile, INTZ going to be attacking onto this particular bomb site. They will not have a thermite again, but also again, we will have Pain Gaming opening up that wall in the closet. So it's probably not really going to matter, no matter where we do have INTZ coming from.
Now, we haven't seen yet at all from either of the teams a garage push from the snowmobile or a bar takeover. Typically, sometimes we see a bar garage, snowmobile garage hold or push. We haven't seen that just yet. It's always been from the large garage onto the wine cellar.
Yeah, both these teams really opting for the same exact attack. And that's, we often see that happen where 2 teams will go for just the same repeat of each other because they're used to how it plays out, and they want to stick to what they know. Here's that run out you were talking about earlier, that one we saw the Claymore place for.
Oh, there's the shots. Goes for one. Can he get another? He doesn't know that there's 2 out there. He's going to come back inside. GCR is going to get the trade, but that was I'd say, a very nice kill, because I don't think the Thatcher, the EMPs, have done their job just yet.
Yeah, and that's going to slow down this take significantly, despite the fact that there is no bandit or mute. It's still going to slow down the take in that they won't be able to clear out any of the ADSs with the Thatchers, or Valkyrie camps for that matter.
Now we're going to see this wall get opened up. Revolt's already prepared for it. He's still staying, I think he's right behind a bomb. I don't think he's close up on the wall. No, he's not close up on the wall. It's all up to Spawns basically to hold this down. We also have Eunice behind him. So we're going to have a conversation here between Spawns and Eunice. Basically, Spawns is going to say, hey, Eunice, go out, peek around. I'm going to keep an eye on here. FK will be outside on those external stairs, though, and this is bad news bears here, as Spawns is going to have to vacate the premise. Goes for the shots, and it looks like we have FK tagging a double kill for INTZ, taking out both members here from Pain Gaming. Now it's up to Wags and Revolt, last two alive for the defensive squad. Wags going to be back in the snowmobile as Revolt moves over to the corner by the kegs. FK going to go for a 3K here, or potentially go for the shots. Now it looks as though Silence will get the diffuser planted. Flashbang's going out. Now Revolt's going to be blinded, but Wag was able to get away from it. Silence gets injured. Diffuser has been planted, and we are going to see a 3-on-2. Now Revolt trying to move in forward. He does miss some of his target, takes a lot of damage in return, but still a 3-2. Wag gonna move in from Snowmobile. Revolt finally gets the last bullet, and he will go down. Wag gonna try to take this 1-on-3 against FK, Ninja, and GCR. Looking through the wine closet cellar, and it looks like Ninja will come out on top in that engagement. INTZ gonna finally take the lead for the first time in this map, and they are now 1 round away from securing a playoff position after today's series.
Pain Gaming has come time and time again so very close to making their way to playoffs and thus LAN, and time again they've been thwarted right at the precipice of said opportunity. And now Pain need to step it up and win 2 more rounds and then 1 whole more map in order to push forward to get themselves into playoffs, and it's looking pretty grim.
Yeah, and basically, like you said, we said it at the beginning, we've said it before today, the importance of this series is that the winner goes to playoffs, the loser does not. And if you make it to playoffs in the Latin American scene, 2 out of those 4 teams that do make it have a chance, or will be going to the LAN event. They're going to receive a LAN invite to Cologne, Germany to compete for, I think the prize pool is what, around $237,500?
It's quite a bit bigger than it used to be. I mean, they've been getting bigger every season. And whatever the case be, it's going to be at GamesCon. And in late August, it's going to be pretty interesting. Whoever actually makes it.
So we do have INTZ playing that Frost again. And I'm liking it. We talked about, okay, are we going to see a Frost this time around? Are we going to see a Frost on this map? We know both teams like playing him. We did see one Frost mat go at the top of these stairs that FK is on. He's basically standing right at the Frost mat. And that's going to allow for some hidden injure ability, we'll say, or injure potential.
Now, Pain Gaming has been primarily taking this bomb site by taking, well, master control and office control, same as what you're used to seeing on this particular map. INTZ very clearly is aware of that, and they are stacking heavily on the library side of things, waiting for Pain to step into these angles.
Ooh, and it looks as though Noted is going to move forward, try to go for the shot on the GCR. GCR had a better angle to begin with, but Noted forced him out.
Just playing a very dangerous game here with Noted.
I like the different angles that we're seeing INTZ try to incorporate into that kitchen hall, or into that master bedroom hallway.
Like I said, you've got about 4 angles to work with if you're playing from Chimney. Just onto one little angle of that hallway, that master hallway. That's all that's the only place they get to challenge you from.
Now, this will unfold very quickly if they kill Silence inside of the trophy, because then that means the only man who's going to be around to stop the push is going to be Len. And he's got gas grenades, he's inside a kitchen, but you do have Sledge above him, who's trying to make that very difficult for him to stay stationary.
You could see the pressure that is on Pain Gaming right now. They have to win this. Oh no, the first kill of the round will be on to Spawn from FK. FK's been really stepping it up in this match today.
He has. That's going to be taking out the Sledge, and I don't think Sledge has done all the damage he's needed to. Still, some of the floor has not been destroyed, so that's going to allow a lot of potential here for INTZ to just hunker down and try to make sure that they can hold on to the angles for this push that's going to be coming in. Now, Silence is going to wait for someone to try to shoot and hop in. He doesn't want to give away his position. He needs to stay right here, wait for the vault in.
If he gets a little aggressive here, he could see Unit.
He doesn't need to, though. He's got the frost match, I believe. I think so, unless the repel upside down from Eunice got rid of him already.
Very dangerous game both of these players are playing.
Eunice going to try to repel into here. Silence hears it. He's going to go for the shots. He looks for Revolt. Sees the close one. He misses the target. And that's going to be FK trying to get one. We've got Revolt and Eunice. Last two alive. Eunice goes down. Revolt needs to get this clutch in a 1-on-3. Can he get it? He's going to be over here inside of the kitchen. Moving on towards the hall. Looks like he's going to see Ninja. Doesn't get the kill in time. And it's going to be INTZ winning this round in this 10-round overtime. And now we're going to see INTZ go all the way in a 2-0 victory, taking the second seed out of Group B to secure their playoff position.
You gotta imagine how incredibly happy INTZ is at getting that victory, not having to push it all the way to the third map, and they will go into the playoffs. That is so exciting.
It is, especially for a team such as INTZ. Like we said, they're a dark horse. Not many